The room was tense, the kind of tense where even the hum of the cameras seemed louder than usual. Washington had seen its fair share of political clashes, but that day, something electric was in the air. Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary known for her sharp tongue and quick wit, leaned forward at the moderator's table. Her eyes locked on Senator John Kennedy, the Louisiana lawmaker famous for his homespun one-liners that often cut sharper than any rehearsed talking point. And then she said it. "You're not qualified," Psaki declared, her voice steady but dripping with disdain. The audience gasped, half in shock, half in anticipation. The words cut through the air like a knife. For a moment, even Kennedy's usual smirk faltered. Cameras zoomed in, reporters scribbled furiously, and the crowd waited for what everyone knew would come next, Kennedy's response. But before we get to that moment, let's rewind the clock. Kennedy had been invited to a live televised debate on policy issues ranging from the economy to national security. It wasn't just another DC talking head segment. It was billed as a defining conversation about America's future, with millions tuned in. For Kennedy, this wasn't about party lines or soundbites. This was about showing the nation what leadership looked like when stripped of pretense. Psaki, however, came prepared to dismantle him. She had binders full of stats, rehearsed lines, and the confidence of someone who had spent years in the White House briefing room going toe-to-toe with some of the toughest reporters in the world. Kennedy, by contrast, walked in with nothing but his reading glasses, a worn notebook filled with scribbles, and his unshakable belief that plain truth always trumped polished rhetoric. The debate was already heated when Psaki launched her jab. Kennedy had just criticized the administration for overcomplicating simple problems, using a folksy metaphor about how you don't need a NASA scientist to fix a leaky roof. Psaki's patience snapped. She accused him of oversimplifying national crises, of being out of his depth, and then delivered the fatal phrase, "You're not qualified." The audience froze. Even Kennedy's aides sitting in the back row looked uneasy. Being called unqualified on national television could end a career, or at least stain it for years. But Kennedy leaned back in his chair, his lips curling into a smile that made it clear he wasn't rattled. "Well, ma'am," he began slowly, his southern drawl thick with intention, "if by qualified you mean I've memorized 1,000 talking points written by staffers, then you're right, I'm not qualified. If by qualified you mean I know how to dodge a question without giving a straight answer, then I'm guilty as charged. But if being qualified means having the guts to tell people the truth, even when it isn't popular, and standing up for the folks who can't afford lobbyists and lawyers in Washington, then I'll let the good